For those who don't know me, my name is Patrick. I've been in cloud engineer for 3 years, and I've been talking since I was about 2. So, that makes me kind of, well, average. And an expert, according to my mom, at least. So communication is something that we all do. It's kind of automatic. We don't think about it too much. Almost as a service, right? Just works, black box it, no need to think of it. It's actually something that doesn't usually have big impact, but sometimes the stakes are much higher, actually. This image represents the once-in-a-lifetime encounter between Montezuma and Cortez. What this image doesn't show is that a few moments later, one of them would be murdered, and later 20 million others would be killed. Which begs the question, what did they say to each other? A more interesting question is, how do you even translate a language that you never heard before? So for Cortez, that was unfortunate. He spoke Spanish, which was translated to Mayan and then to Aztec, back and forth for every sentence. And if it sounds complicated, well, that's because it is. Adding to that complexity is actually the difference in cultures, different gods, different beliefs, different values. With all those differences and complexities, does it matter what was said, or more importantly, maybe what they all heard? So Cortez thought that Montezuma thought that Cortez was a god. This is a matter of interpretation. The same words were said, and everyone heard something different. They heard the same words, the message was different. We are all the heroes in our own stories, so we all hear what we want to hear. This acts kind of like a filter, where we all hear the same messages, but we apply different mechanics to hear what we want to hear. So we amplify different things, and we maybe diminish or completely remove other types. And this phase of interpretation happens every time you hear any type of language, any word, and we're all doing it right now. I'm translating from Hebrew to English, and you're doing it from English to Hebrew, Spanish, Polish, or whatever language you choose. This is something we do intuitively, automatically. On top of that, well, there's also our cultural and emotional context that we're putting into words. So we're all hearing the same words right now, but maybe you're hungry. I doubt. Maybe you are angry. So you put your emotional context into what you hear. In Cloud Engineering, we say, let's auto everything. And as humans, we do exactly the same thing. We feel automatically without thinking, and we a lot of times respond automatically without thinking at that as well. But how does that work? How do we do this automatically? So whenever someone speaks to you, that's an event for you. This event is then is applied by the filter, and you feel something. That's automatic. That emotion triggers a response, and that response is someone else's event, and the cycle is complete. And you might be wondering, well, that's not my responsibility. That's the next person's responsibility. It's not your fault that someone misinterprets you. It's not your fault someone misunderstands you. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's not your fault. But research suggests that better communication improves influence and impact and reduces conflict and friction. And I'd really like to see someone say, I don't want any of those. And it's fine. I'll wait if someone wants to say that. No takers? So I'd like to offer an alternative. What about taking a joint responsibility of it? Not worrying about who said what and how did he interpret what I thought, or vice versa. How can we take a joint responsibility over this issue that's called communication? How would that look like? So the first thing we love that in Cloud Engineering, benefit of the doubt, which basically means no matter how unlikely, let's leave a room for the possibility that we misunderstood, that something was not the intent, right? So that's the first tool we have. And the second tool we have is rephrase and repeat. And what I mean by that is saying the same thing in a different way, which is exactly what I just did. I use the words and what I mean by that. We're sending the same message with 2 wordings reduces the chance for miscommunication or a misunderstanding. These 2 tools are all about awareness, being aware of our own filters and being aware of others and how they feel and how they process things. It's not a trivial thing, but if we're able to do this, then it can greatly improve all our communication, personal and professional. Did you ever notice how these 2 words are so identical, community and communication? A group of people in a community share values, share beliefs. Most importantly, they share filters, right? They use the same filter when they talk. So there's no friction because they all share the same values. Over history, many mistakes were made due to miscommunication. It's our responsibility to look back and learn from those mistakes so we won't repeat them. We can do so much better than Cortez and Montezuma. Thank you.